Okay folks, went fishing, and as I said I was going to do on the last part, and caught a few fish, lost 3, lost one nice one, big one. You know, and I'm fishing for record fish. When I say a big one, I mean a big one, but that's the way it goes. You win some, you lose some, but I caught 3 nice ones. I think the biggest one I caught was about 30 inches long, so, but I didn't weigh any of them. I don't weigh them unless I think they're over 50 pounds. So anyway, here's where we're at. I didn't think our parts was going to be in until next week, so I was going to take a break on this thing and move it out of the way, move something in, but the parts came. So here's our alternator. Did not get a chrome by choice. I got a chrome because that was the cheapest thing that was there. They had, one company had them available for $62 that was not chrome. But for some reason eBay wouldn't let me buy it. Every time I'd try to buy it, it would say that their server was down. So I went to this one, which was $70, $8 higher, and I bought it, and it went right through. And I contacted the people that was selling the $62 one to let them know that there was an issue, and you know, they needed to check into it because you know, it cost me $8 extra, plus it lost them their sale. But this was $70, one wire. I would say that this is a lot cheaper than what an original would be for a Yanmar, you know, a Komatsu PC40 with a Yanmar engine. But $70, single wire. The way these work is you start them up at a low idle, they won't charge. You rev it one time and then it kicks it in, the voltage regulator in, it starts charging. You know, they usually charge really good, and then that's it, just one wire. I ran the original wire. I went ahead and cut the other wires. We're going to put a shield over this anyway. And we have got the throttle cable in. I did not think it was coming in today either. So here's what we got. As you can see, this big cable laying on the ground. 240 inches, which is enough to go from the panel to here. Probably 4, 5, 8, 10 times. But anyway, the point is that happened to be on sale. I could have got one shorter, but they wanted more money, so I bought the one that was on sale because you got to cut them anyway, so it don't matter. So here's the style I'm using. Some of you, if you're into wreckers or rollbacks, you're sure you're familiar with this thing. And I'll tell you why I wanted to use this style. I'm going to try to sit up on the tripod here so I can show you. So here's what we've got. This is these are nice units. They're not cheap. Now this was $50. Up to, you know, well, $70, $80 depending on the length. Most of them were, you know, 50 something. Like I said, they had this one on sale, so they come from Zorro, which some of you may be familiar with that. But anyway, if you buy it from a wrecker company, like a resale company, AW Direct, something like that, they're going to really charge you for it. But this is how it works. You can twist it, and as you can see, this gap getting wider. It's working. Okay, and then it's really controllable because you can go just a little bit or go as far as you want to go to idle this thing up. And then if you want to idle it down, you just push the top. It comes down instantly. But there's another way. If you're in a hurry, you grab it, push the button, and just pull out on it. And you can set the idle anywhere you want to set it, and then hit it back. So it's really easy to use, nice to use. It's cheaper really than buying a lever, because a lever with a good quality cable is going to cost you some, you know, pretty good money. This is quality stuff. This is not, you know, cheap lawnmower cables that's going to give trouble later. So, and that's what I like, is stuff that lasts. So now we're going to get this mounted, and then we're going to have to make some brackets and stuff for the injector pump to get it hooked up. All right. Okay, here's our throttle hooked up, and back here I've cut it off about 100 foot of it, I think. So we're going to figure out how we're going to mount it and what we're going to do, but for the meanwhile I'm working on these. Now what I've done is I've taken carburetor cleaner and blew in, made sure it came back out, took my air hose, done the same thing, cleaned it really well. What I've got here, a little bit bigger, but I think it'll be fine. We've got a vacuum port out of a carburetor, and this is out of a quadrijet lower port. I had an old one, it wasn't any good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it out. Now I'm going to drill this undersize, especially with a hand drill, because when you drill, if I did one exactly the same size, it would fit loose. So we're going to try to drill a little bit undersized, and then once we do that, we'll blow air in this one, and it should blow everything out of that one, hopefully, and clean it out good, and then we'll press in a fitting, and then we've really got another one down here that needs done, but they're both open all the way through, but one of them can be closed off. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do, because one of them has to be closed off anyway. You get one coming from here into this one, and then back out of this one into this one, and back out of this one, and down here and teeing into your return. So that's what we're going to do. Let me see if I can find the drill bit and drill this and see if it'll press in. Alright, a little bit bigger than what was on there. Not a lot bigger, but I mean, it measured out a little bit. But it'll work, and that's the important part. It's a little longer, but no problem. So that should take care of this end. Now I've got to figure out what I'm going to do on this end, if I'm going to cap it or put another one in it. I'll probably put another port in it, just cap it off. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see what I can figure out. Okay, so what I've done, you see me press this one in. I went ahead and drilled this one, and I had a bottom tap for quarter 20. And so I went ahead and just put a brass screw in this one, because I had drilled it and I actually put a short 22 shell casing in it, and after running a while shaking, I guess because 22 is so thin a wall that it collapsed it down. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure that this wasn't going to leak. And this hose here is what runs it to that one, runs it to that one. This one runs down, runs into the return. We got a return hooked up here going back to the tank. I've got just a temporary hookup for my ground right here. I got to make a ground wire for it. We got the power hooked up. Getting ready to do the throttle. I think that's going to be the next thing. Okay, folks, I think this is going to be the last of the videos. We're not going to do anything else on this thing. I've actually had, I lost a few subscribers on this one. I mean, usually you gain subscribers, but I don't know what it is. A lot of people don't seem to be liking this series too much, so we're about done anyway, so it don't matter. But anyway, to try to wrap a few things up here, the questions I had and stuff. This is a PC 40-6. This engine that was in this thing was made for this machine by Yanmar. And when Yanmar made that engine, they made it for this machine. They didn't put it in a lawnmower, they didn't put it in a little tractor, they didn't put it in anything else but this machine. So there was a reason for that. They done that because now Komatsu sells parts for the machine. You can't go buy them cheap from other places. You have to buy it through Komatsu for this machine. And you know, that's a tactic that, like the Percapillator, the Perkins that makes yellow and takes all the Perkins name off of them, sells it as a Caterpillar, and then won't give you part numbers for Perkins because Perkins parts are cheaper than Caterpillar. I mean, it's the way they do business. And an engine for this thing is unobtainium. I mean, I called a few places when this deal started, and they pretty much laughed at me. You're not going to find one. Well, I decided I would check into maybe building this engine. And after figuring out what the parts would cost, the fact that nobody that does machine work anymore, like on the crankshaft, it's spun a bearing. It's got to be welded up. It's got to be turned back down. Nobody wants to stand behind their work. You know, you can't get the quality of work as what you used to be able to get. The young machinists don't understand what you're trying to tell them when you say, I want, you know, 3,000 gap piston to cylinder wall clearance instead of 2. And they, oh no, that won't work, you know, so they want to do things their way even though you got your own ways of doing things. So my point is this was the easy and cheap way. And I know people, they think it's, you know, $25,000 worth of machine work, but you know, this first, I didn't charge anything for any of this work. This was donated. It's a friend of mine's machine. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, I do this stuff because I enjoy it. I've done this stuff, you know, for 20 years before I ever even picked up a still camera, let alone a video camera. I built stuff, you know, I just didn't take pictures of it because that wasn't my goal. Was to, it didn't matter to me what anybody thought of what I made or what I built. You know, I don't have pictures of my first record, and you know, it bothers me now, but that was the last thing I was thinking of back then. I was building that to make money with. Well, I built this the way that I built it, with that engine, because I wanted to solve some engineering problems. A lot of them was the fact that you had to pull the engine out to get the injector pump. The damn thing overheated bad. There's little things that I wanted to do to this machine when I put an engine in it to make them better. And you open the hood, you get the oil filter, the fuel filter, the alternator, the injector pump. Anything you need to get to is right there. And the parts that, you know, the alternator, the stuff's easy to find, simple. You know, we'll have a belt number. I bought an oil filter for it today. It was $4 for the oil filter. And, you know, it's turned this machine into something that's going to be easy to work on later. It's going to be cheap to work on. It should last a long time. You know, one of my goals on these old machines, like my old skid steer loader over there, it's a 1975 model. I can walk over there to it, I can turn the key on, I can push the button and it starts up. And I can operate it and use it. I don't have to come out here and work on it, charge the battery, beat on the starter, cross the starter. You know, this thing here, I'll show you what, this was part of this machine. This is a crowbar. This bar was used right here to throttle this up. And then it was used to hit it to knock it back down with the throttle that was on it. There was no gauges where you could see. It was started with ether. You know, this is what we want right here. Running. That was the goal. I'm going to give you the numbers off this engine, and then for anybody that wants to research finding an engine for this thing, I don't think anybody could find one any cheaper than what I fixed this for. I don't think it's possible. And like I said, I do this, I enjoy doing this. This is sort of a labor of love, so you know, that's part of the deal. All right, here's our numbers. It's a 3D, which means a 3-cylinder diesel, 95, which means 95 millimeter pistons, I believe, and an S, and then a W, it looks like. I think that's what it is. And then the serial number below it. As you can see, this is the front side of the engine. This is the side you see when you open the hood. Muffler, alternator, injector pump on the back side, injectors on the back side. Fuel filter was on the back side. Oil filter was up here. But you get my point of, you know, trying to make something serviceable. Okay, so no more on the track hoe. Say goodbye. We will have some videos on this shortly. Alright, and the manifold is fixed. I'm going to turn this over. Here's Chris, and just want to say one thing. Chris come by and I gave him the seat belts. Inside of the box was a package that had other seat belts in it, and some vintage Jaguar seat belt ends and some other ones. And I got to thinking about it, and I believe that maybe them were from a different subscriber, and I didn't think to even look on the package. So if you sent them, or if I get to see Chris, I'm going to ask him what the name was on that package. I'm sorry, I wanted to recognize everybody that sent them into him, but I get so busy here and stuff gets piled up. So, but anyway, here's Chris, and like I said, you'll see some videos on this V12 engine here soon. So appreciate everybody watching. Bye. For everybody that don't know, this is my buddy Chris. He comes sees me. I haven't seen him in a little while, and we've got a lot of subscribers that's asking about you, asking how you doing. So you want to let everyone know what you've been up to and how you've been.
Well, I fractured my pelvis, unfortunately, this past, I think in December, a week before Christmas, but I'm back to normal, as they say. I took the therapy very seriously because, you know, obviously gotta get back to doing what I love, and I got a promotion at Wendy's. I'm the maintenance supervisor, which means I am above the general manager and everyone. That it's a team effort, but I'm the one, if one thing goes wrong or if anything goes wrong, I fix it, and they know I fix it. And also I got a backup job as backup fry cook, cooking the patties. It's meat press wise, not the 4-point like Dave's way, but still, you know, I'm doing well, and hey, still collecting the seat belts and all that, and it's all good, and I'm still doing good and all that stuff. And hey, Jonathan, I thank you for all the stuff that you do, and many more, as they say. And I heard about your health thing when, and I did leave a comment saying you were in my prayers every day. And well, hey, it's stuff like this that we work for.
Well, it must be working, Chris, because I've been feeling pretty good here lately. But I have got a surprise for you, and I think you're going to really like it. We're going to go over here and sit down, and I want to show you what you've got here. All right?
Awesome.
And there's Nina Cat coming to see Chris. All right, so we want to thank Glenn. His first name is Glenn, last name Hansford.
Hansford.
Yeah, Hansford.
Hansford.
And he has brought you, or sent you, an entire box of seat belts here.
Oh my heavens.
And
Thank you.
they are all listed what they are, what years they are, and he's got the corners.
Oh my Lord. Oh, thank you, Glenn. It means a lot to me.
Well, there's some in there that I know that you was asking for that I don't even know what are. And I seen that.
Oh my, wow, I can't thank you enough, Glenn. BMW?
Oh, there's some, I seen a Jaguar in there too. I think Minicat loves everybody.
Hyundai? This is a new one. I've never seen a Hyundai. A different Hyundai. Yeah, I have plenty of Jaguars, and I mean, this is awesome. I can't thank you enough.
There's the Skoda. That's what I was talking about right there.
Oh wow, this is amazing. Amazing, just amazing.
I'm glad you like them.
This is like Christmas, truly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones in there, and of course they remembered you on your corners too, because I know you like them.
Yes, I see that.
And the years are all marked on them and what they are.
Oh, this is all from CSB Vehicle Dismantle. Citron, all right.
Citrons, okay.
Sweet.
So I'm assuming that Glenn must have a salvage yard over in UK. So.
Amazing.
So they had Skodas in Romania?
That's just about all they had. Peugeots, Skodas, what else? Renaults, and one or two Chevys. Very few Chevys. Just,
And I think there's a couple of Mercedes in there too, I think.
yeah, I saw a Mercedes. Peugeot. Wow, this is amazing. It's truly unbelievable. Can't believe it.
Minicat. So you don't need to go to the junkyard in Europe now?
Not really, because I already got my fair share. This is amazing. It really is.
So you haven't been able to ride your bike too much here lately, or?
Well, I do on my way to and from work, but it's just about the only thing I really get to do because, you know, I'm so busy with Wendy's and work, you know, but, you know, as long as I'm working, that's a good thing, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I keep busy. It's a secret of mine, but it shouldn't even have to be a secret. But for some people it is, I guess. Rather unfortunate that way, but it's life, as they say. BMW. It's truly awesome. Ford Fiesta.
There's some of that brown bag there too that's inside that.
Oh, and this brown bag?
Yeah,
Oh,
look.
I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
right there.
Wow. Vauxhall, I've heard of them. Volkswagen. Peugeot. Wow. Classic Jaguars. And an Audi. I have plenty of Audis. These are the old school Jaguars.
Old Jaguar. Okay.
Yes. Just amazing. Thank you so much.